Welcome to Bike World, welcome to California, welcome to Triumph's launch of the new Speedmaster 1200. Welcome to my amazing hotel suite overlooking the surf in California. And that's the reason I can't stop smiling. This is a dream to be out here in California. This is the proper Californian experience, isn't it? I mean, Triumph have really done well with this one. And ironically, one of the last times I was out here in California was riding the old Speedmaster a couple of hours that way, if I remember rightly. But for 2026, it's a new Speedmaster from Triumph. Let's start with the ergonomics. So the fuel tank's gone bigger, that's gone up 2 litres, that's now 14 litres. But the big thing for me is the bar position, because before, the bars kind of came around here in a kind of retro, kind of cool 1920s board tracker style, if you know what I mean. But now the bars are kind of more natural and more further forward. We've got a wider rider seat, we've got a wider pillion seat, we've got a 2-colour option. This is the red, and there's also like a black and crystal white. For me, this red is absolutely stunning, especially in this light in Californian sunshine. To bring it up to modern standards, we've got an IMU. The IMU tells us what the bike is doing, which means we've got lean sensitive traction and we've got lean sensitive ABS. We've got 2 rider modes that are dead easy to change on the fly. So dash, I think that's pretty much the same as the bobber. 6 gear, RPM, got trip information and all that kind of everything that you need. You can turn off the traction control if you want, but you have to do that at a standstill. The wheels are now lighter, so they're around 1 kilogram lighter. So I imagine the rear is 0.6 and the front is 0.4. That saves on unsprung weight. We've got a new kind of USB on the side of the cockpit. We've got a new headlight and we've got these new colours. The Speedmaster shares many similarities with the bobber that we've tested before. The new bobber has got the same lightweight wheels, the same IMU, and they share the same 1200 engine that you also find in the T120 Bonneville. So that is 78 horsepower, at 6,000 RPM, 106 Newton meters at 3750. It's a little bit different, I think, in a couple of 200-300 RPM compared to the bobber, but nearest damn it, it's the same. It's similar with the chassis. But with the bobber, you've got a single seat and you've got that hardtail look where they've hidden the shock. Obviously with the Speedmaster, it's much more relaxed. We've got the opportunity to take a pillion, we've got a grab rail, we've got a big subframe, you can fit more luggage. It's a much more of a comfortable, enjoyable riding experience. The more I ride the Speedmaster, the kind of more I get in sync with it. It's not a bike that wants to be hurried. It's not a bike that's seeking apexes and any of that. It's just a chilled out, relaxed, cool bike to ride that looks cool. Today we've been up and down the coast here in California, cruising down the freeway, up into the hills, doing exactly what this bike has been designed to do. Surf's on. Oh, take me to some waves. So for me, one of the big improvements is the front end feel and the way the bars feel. Before, the bars kind of came around here in an exaggerated way, and it felt a little bit vague when you was going to the corner because it was kind of like rubber mounted and you were too far away from what was actually happening. Now the bars are a bit more conventional. Personally, I think I'd like them a little bit further forward, but then it'd be more like the bobber and not like the design and ethos of what the Speedmaster is. On the freeway, it's super comfortable. It's not blancmange, it's not super soft, but it just rides really nicely, especially if you've jumped off the bobber. It's really comfortable, really smooth, virtually vibration free. It does sound good, like when you're in this kind of like low RPM and you give it a big handful. Big parallel twin, big thudder. It's Euro 5 Plus, catalytic converter, but it sounds good, and then you get like a nice feeling through the tank and the bars. It's like a bit of character, a bit of soul. Same when you close the throttle, like, well, not high RPM, but reasonably high RPM. And it's one of those bikes that sounds better when you're not on it, because I'm surrounded by Triumph riders on the similar bikes with the same engine, it does sound really good. It's 6-speed gearbox, not 5 like you find on the Scrambler 900 and the T100. And once you get it into top gear, it just chugs along effortlessly. Peak torque is less than 4,000 RPM, and to be honest, you can change gear at about 3.5, and still make decent progress. In the corners, the setup is like the bobber. It's a little bit unusual. You've got these kind of balloon tires that you have to kind of make it turn into the corner. It doesn't dart towards the apex. It's more about style than it is hunting the racing line. But once you get it on its side, the pegs start to tickle. It's really good, actually. I was quite surprised what you can get away with. And there's a lot of torque and a lot of power. For immature reasons, I ended up switching off the traction control at the traffic lights, ended up racing V8s away from the lights, and it lit up the tire a few times. It's quite amusing because when you're on the Speedmaster, oh, can I get through there? It's got some poke off the lights. So when you gas it off the lights, it really wants to fly. It's not a slow bike. Forget about the rider aids, forget about the power, forget about the lightweight wheels. Yeah, the bigger fuel tank is important. For me, it's the style, it's the look. And I think as a cruiser, that is pretty awesome. I love all the detail finishes on it as well. I love the fake carbs and the fake cooling fins. I love the fact that the shock is so well hidden that it looks like an original hardtail from the 20s or the 30s. I like the fact that you can't see any of the wiring, even though they've put an extra, I don't know, must be a couple of meters in there. All that kind of attention to detail that Triumph do really well. The difficult thing I think for Triumph is that in this cruiser market there's a lot of American competition. When you look at other models like in Triumph's range, like the Scramblers and the Bobbers, I think, and especially the Bonneville, it's almost out on its own and doing really well. But in this cruiser type market, you're up against a lot of big V twins and even boxers arguably from BMW. So pricing in the UK is $13,795, which is exactly the same as the Bobber. So if you're after a Triumph cruiser, you've got an easy decision. Well, you've got a very difficult decision there. Are you going laid back or are you going like hardcore bobber? What this bike does really well is looks brilliant. It just cruises. It can capable of throwing out some big miles. There's a lot of accessories you can throw on the bike, a lot of luggage and sissy bars and different comfort that you can have. We've had the optional heated grips and you've even got cruise control. So if you want to throw out some big miles on a Triumph whilst looking good, then there is no better alternative than a new Speedmaster. Hopefully in a few years time, the next time I come back to California, we'll be doing another Speedmaster. So please Triumph, just keep doing Speedmasters and keep bringing me back to California. I don't know who's got priority, so I'm just going to go with cool, and we're done.